So Disney just recently announced that a load of sequels will be coming out in the next few years, and naturally that gives me an excuse to talk about them. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, I don't really like to crap on Disney too much. If I review a film and it's not to my liking, I always try and make a good point as to why I don't like it, and perhaps how someone else could even enjoy it. I didn't even think people could enjoy Cars 2, but there are plenty of people out there who hold that film in a very high regard. For some, it's their favourite Pixar movie. Naturally, when the announcements for Moana 2, Zootopia 2, Frozen 3, and Toy Story 5, people on the internet, well, they naturally went a little bit crazy. Some of these movies, like Zootopia 2, is a massive welcome. The first movie was incredibly fun, but the others, some people have showed their worry about some of the other movies they have announced. It's interesting how some of the sequels that are on this list are definitely welcoming. Surprisingly, most of these films are actually for me, and I'm looking forward to most of them, but I think it's interesting in why they pick the films they pick to get sequels. If you're a fan of animation films like I am, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. I have a review for every Pixar film on this channel, and a few other surprises along the way. So let's start with Moana 2, which on the surface is a fantastic film to be given this sequel treatment. The first film was incredibly successful, and is probably one of the best modern Disney films we have ever got. It has amazing characters, fantastic songs, and it feels like classic Disney with modern interpretations. What worries me with Moana 2 is it feels like it's getting an overbearing treatment of too much attention. With a live-action remake of the first film coming not shortly after its sequel, it feels like Disney are milking the Moana franchise for all it's worth. As we know, the fact that the film is getting a live-action remake after the film is only a few years old makes the whole thing feel like Disney are going to exploiting the franchise. Something I love about Tangled, which I talked about in my Tangled review, is that due to that film not having as much attention as, say, another certain chilly franchise, is that it got even more special because it wasn't oversaturated with content, making it all the more special. Speaking of that chilly franchise, let's talk Frozen 3. Now, I don't think any of us are surprised Frozen is getting its third sequel in the franchise. The first film, of course, was incredibly successful, and even I have to admit, it is a brilliant film. Its sequel, Frozen 2, despite not having the best reviews, was still incredibly successful. They will be milking this franchise with sequels, spin-offs, shorts until the end of time. Like Shrek, Frozen was a film that didn't just do well from a review and money-making standpoint, it got into the lives of the general public like no other. I could not escape Let It Go or even Into the Unknown when these films came out, and I'm sure Frozen 3 will have its own version of Let It Go, and it will probably happen again. I may not want it to happen, but it was always going to happen after the impact this franchise had. In a way, we kind of only did it to ourselves. Zootopia 2 is easily my most anticipated movie of this list. Zootopia was a film that when coming out felt more like a Pixar movie. With its mature themes of racism and its comedy style, this film felt like Disney finally wanted to try something different with some of their other films. Everything down to the cast not being the biggest A-list actors is everything good and classic we love about Disney. Zootopia 2 is a natural step in the right direction, and to see another case from Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And now, with Toy Story 5. Even though for me this film isn't a Disney film, it's a Pixar film, this does have me very worried. Now look, for the record, I love Toy Story 4, but that film divided fans. Now whether you like Toy Story 4 or not, the only reason most people tend to dislike that film is because of the decisions that are made. But like I said in my review, the people who know those characters the best are Pixar themselves, and the franchise unfortunately had to move forward even if you don't necessarily like it. It was an unfortunate necessary step in the right direction. Tim Allen, the voice of Buzz Lightyear, has said he would like Toy Story 5 to be about following adult Andy to track down his toys to give to his children. And while I don't hate this idea, I do think that this would diminish the ending of Toy Story 4 and Toy Story 3 of the passing of the torch onto Bonnie. But who knows, it could work if that's the way they want it to go. But Pixar have always said that if they do a sequel to a film, they need it to have the right natural progression of the story and the characters. So as much as I do trust them to make the right sequel, I can't help but feel like Frozen, they are milking this franchise for all it's worth. The best franchises for me are the ones that quit when ahead. Toy Story has been going since 1995. It was a standpoint for animated movies. Even if Toy Story 5 is good, do we not just want to let it rest to tell new stories and look back on the series with love and joy? It would also kill me to know that the entire franchise is ruined by one bad movie. So coming from all this, what is the point to a sequel? When is a good time to stop? And even if it is good, are they just abusing a franchise because you know it makes money? It's hard because in one sense I get why Disney are doing a Frozen 3, and they will continue to do sequels and spin-offs because it will make the money and the movie won't be incredibly bad, just like Frozen 2 wasn't really a bad movie. But you can always feel when a franchise has overstayed its welcome. I just hope Pixar don't follow too much in Disney's footsteps, and while I'm sure Disney probably breathed down their necks probably a lot more since owning the company, I just hope that they allow Pixar to free reign on the films they make, as they have never made a film for the sake of making a movie. So let me know in the comment section what are some of your thoughts on this news. I know I'm a little bit late to talking about this, but I really wanted to compose my thoughts and give a reason as to why to talk about this. But thank you for joining me in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more great content on all things animation, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and all my other social media platforms right here. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.